My name is attorney Enrico Schaefer, and I wanted to touch on something today that we're starting to really see a lot of, and this occurs across the spectrum of industries, whether or not it is influencers or artists or any sort of publisher on the web, whether or not it's someone publishing on their own website or publishing third-party content. We're seeing a dramatic increase in claims of copyright infringement and a big uptick in people bringing lawsuits for copyright infringement in court. And I think that we've seen this in the influencer space, we've seen this in other spaces as well. We had numerous cases last year where there's an allegation of copyright infringement, and it in some instances skips the threat letter and goes right into court. So I want to talk a little bit about the basics here so that copyright owners, people who are creating works, creators, people who are putting pen to paper, who are typing on the keyboard, who are taking the photographs, who are creating unique authorship through the various forms that you can create authorship through. You as the plaintiffs, as the people, as the artists, as the creators who need to be protected, need to understand copyright as a basic part of your work, as your work as an author, as an artist, as a photographer, as a drone photographer who's going out and doing all this drone photography and then hopefully licensing it to your customers based on how much of the work they need to use for how long and for what purposes. You can slice and dice the license. So same thing with influencers, right? You get a particular brand that wants you to do some influencing. How much do they get by way of rights in the photograph that you post to Instagram? Can they republish that work? Can they do a screen capture of that Instagram post where you're shouting out and endorsing their brand and post it on their website? Can they bring it into video? Can they use it on TV? How long can they use it and for what purposes? All of that is going to be controlled by the copyright license. The point here is that if you are an author, if you have copyright in unique works, then you need to protect those works if you want to really get any value out of your authorship. And so the way you do that is through copyright. Now, in order to really have leverage in a copyright infringement situation, you really want to have that copyright registered with the U.S. Copyright Office, and here's why. Under law, you don't have to register your copyright. If you're a drone pilot, you don't have to register your works before uploading them to YouTube. If you're an Instagram influencer, you don't need to register all the photographs that you post to Instagram. If you're an artist and you're putting paint to easel, you don't have to register that work in order to have protection. If you're an author and you're creating different publications that may or may not be a book, it may be a manual, it may be blog posts. If you're putting pen to paper, if you're typing on a keyboard and creating unique works of authorship, your ability to protect your copyright isn't necessarily dependent on whether or not it's registered with the Copyright Office. But here's where it makes a difference. If your work is not registered with the Copyright Office, then number one, you can't go to federal court to sue, so you're stuck potentially sending a threat letter, and if the recipient of that threat letter knows you can't sue in federal court until and after you get that work registered, well, you've lost a lot of leverage. The other thing that's really important is that if in fact you do have a registered copyright and the registration is effective within 3 months of first publication of your work or before the infringement occurs, you get statutory damage potential under the Copyright Act. And here's why statutory damages are important. Under Section 504 of the Copyright Act, statutory damages can be between $750,000 and $30,000 per work. Contrast with that with something that a customer might pay you for that work. In many instances, an Instagram photograph, you might be garnering hundreds or a couple $1,000s per post. If you can claim statutory damages because you've registered that work, you can actually get much higher statutory damages, potentially between $350 or $750 and $330,000 per work. So that makes a big difference. Now, here's where it gets even better. If in fact the infringement is willful, which oftentimes it is, ignorance is no excuse. If they actually took your work, used it on their website, and they didn't have a license to use that work, they didn't have permission, and they didn't do anything to gain permission, you can claim that it's willful. Now you can get up to $150,000 per work. If you don't have statutory damages, you're left to just regular damages, and those can be any of a variety of different calculations, including whatever you would have gotten in the open market as a reasonable royalty. So again, that may or may not be a substantial sum of money. If you don't register your copyrighted works, you're going to have a harder time getting a attorney to take your case if your damages are only hundreds or a couple $1,000s per infringement. You're certainly not going to get an attorney to file a lawsuit because the ROI in that for the attorney would be negligible and potentially going backwards, most likely going backwards. You can also get lost profits if you can establish that, or you can claim the infringing party's profits as a result of the use of the work. These are very challenging things to establish and to prove. They're always highly debated and challenged in court. You'd much rather have statutory damages in play. So you want to go ahead and register your copyrighted works with the Copyright Office. It's not expensive. A law firm can show you how to do the first one, and then you can run with it from there. We often work with clients to get their first copyrights registered, at the same time showing them how they need to fill out the forms and what kind of decision making they need to engage in as they work through the copyright form. Make sure they get it filled out correctly. The big challenge becomes if you're an Instagram influencer, do you really want to register a copyright of every single photograph? If you're a drone photographer, do you really want to do every single video as a copyright registration? Now, if you want maximum protection, the answer should be yes. If this is an important work, if it's an important video, an important photograph, then you might want to register it individually. But there are also compilation registrations for copyright where you can bundle up a bunch of your works, for instance, your entire YouTube channel, and get that single registration for that particular channel or Instagram feed, doing all the photographs. And then on a 3-month rolling basis, registering the new materials so that within 3 months of publication, assuming that these are publications, which is a separate topic we can address later, but let's just assume that you're publishing the moment you upload to YouTube or Instagram or on a blog post. So at that point, you've got this 3-month window to get registered. And so you want to have a copyright registration program. We run these programs for clients. We train clients to run the programs for themselves. If you've got your registered copyright, you can claim statutory damages. Statutory damages are going to give you the leverage you need in order to protect your copyright and be able to get thousands or tens of thousands of dollars per infringement. The reason we've seen an uptick in copyright infringement litigation and threat letters is because attorneys primarily are realizing that they can get these copyrights registered prior to infringement or within 3 months of publication. They can wield statutory damages as a big stick to whack up defendants, and those defendants are faced with this question. Do I want to spend tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars paying an attorney to defend the claim when I know I'm going to be held liable and I might be subject to statutory damages? Or do I simply want to pay $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 to settle the case, get a certain result, get out of the case, lick my wounds, and move on? And so in many cases, the obvious business decision is to simply pay the money that is required in order to escape the attorney's fees that you're going to incur, when in fact you clearly are liable because there are very few defenses. If in fact so your web publisher puts that photograph online, you're still liable. You may escape willful damages, but you're still liable. If it's a registered copyright, you could be liable for statutory damages. So that's how this game works. If you are an author, a creator, an artist, okay, a writer, you need to start thinking about the core part of your business. And the core part of your business is creativity that you bring to the table and your ability to protect your works as a copyright protected work. You put those two things together and you're going to create a tremendous amount of value for your work and for your brand and for your reputation. That's all for today. I'm copyright attorney Enrico Schaefer, and we'll see you next time.